Hey, good morning, Facebook family, or rather good afternoon as we enter our noontime lunch area. I just wanted to get some information out to you guys and kind of go into the new year with a little bit of hope and understanding within the Seminole Nation. I'm going to try something new here and throw it out there, see how it responds. If you have any questions or comments regarding the new year, I'd like to hear them. I'd like to put them out there. All I need is your name and your comment, and we'll read it on the air here for the next 30 minutes. Again, this is just something we're going to try, something new, something that will kind of alleviate some of the stress and some of the uncertainty going on, just based off what this department is getting. So keep in mind that any of the comments or actions that you want to write, please just keep in mind we have a very wide audience. Young through old, and just be respectful. And anything you'd like to ask, just send us a line on our Facebook Messenger. Drop us a line on the inbox, and we'll read it here for the next 30 minutes and see how it goes. I do want to say that we thank you for your patience regarding the COVID assistance cards and the distribution of it, because it is a daunting task, and it is the first time that this has ever been attempted and established through the federal government CARES funding, and it has been a learning experience, to say the least. One thing I can say with a lot of the comments that we receive here is that we have a very good dedicated staff of people that are actually working to make sure and ensure that everyone is serviced in a prompt manner. Again, this is the first time, and it's not making any excuses. It's just the first time it's ever been established at this quickness. The efficiency will still need to be undertaken in a manner that we're going to learn from. And so the staff that's actually helping to do this and plan, we've actually had some volunteers too as well. Like to thank those folks as well. But the staff has really been tirelessly putting a whole lot of effort into making sure that these things are done right. Again, we too are sometimes under the movement of what the coronavirus is doing within our community internally as employees. So sometimes it does slow down the progress if that comes into effect. We're at no means, and pardon the pun, immune to the pandemic itself, but it has put a damper on some areas that we've tried to make efficiently, in an efficient manner, move these cards out. So with the first round that went out, one of the questions that we constantly receive, or actually I received, and what we're looking at here is I'm looking at our Facebook feed, and I can see everything that comes across that doesn't go straight to the complex. I'm located here in Seminole, downtown Seminole, and so we see a lot of the talk within the area and through social media, and at times it's overwhelming, the amount. I'm pleased to say that we've actually got a really good number of folks that are actually watching this and participating through social media. For example, the impact of it. Yesterday we did put out the notification for my next door neighbor behind me, the higher education office, as they put out their BIA scholarship. That in itself, when it went out as a published entity on Facebook, social media, at 6 o'clock last night, when I got up this morning to check it, over 3,500 folks were responding to it and passed it around and shared that. Wow. We have about 18,000 plus enrolled in Seminole Nation, and to have that amount being shared, one, it's a good indication that our young folks out there are at the higher education are making an effort to get that established in their lives. So just the amount of folks that responded to it was pretty overwhelming, and I meant to tell Claire about it today. So if you hear about it today, Claire, it was a good day to be Seminole indeed. So things like that, we understand the impact of social media. We understand the demographics that we actually have. So One thing I always tease about our language department, anytime that they have a poster or put up an entity, we have Delaney Pinnock, who's our language practitioner and teacher within the schools prior to the pandemic. There's always a great increase in female responses. So age 35 to 46, but nonetheless, those are some of the things that we see through our demographics and measurements and quantitative analysis of these things. So, you know, we're taking these things into the new age and to the new areas of the Seminole Nation. So just be patient as we learn along with each other, and each department learns along how these impacts can greatly affect in a positive way the Seminole Nation. So with that, kind of getting back with the COVID assistance, there was some notes that I wanted to put out to you guys, and again, I'll put this out on the website and some of the social media that we have. But the second round technology assistance frequently asked questions that we receive was based off an automatic secondary payment will be made to those Seminole Nation members who were approved and received the initial payment from the Assistance and Student Technology Assistance Programs. The amount was $900 for COVID assistance and $500 for technology assistance. And again, these were based off the initial recipients that were approved during the first round, and the budget was made off the initial recipients for that first round. There was at the time, the federal law said we had to spend these monies by December 31st. And with that, the allocations and the quick turnaround for the second round, it was agreed to put these out in a first round recipient approved to get it out faster. Now, one of the questions, I'll just take some of the questions that we had was, what if an application was never received? How can I apply for the second round? Well, there are no new applications for the second round that were taken due to the fact that it was based off first round initial approved recipients. Again, a lot of that too was addresses. One of the things we were finding out was addresses hadn't been updated in many years for a lot of folks, and it just stresses the importance of how important our tribal enrollment system is and how that department is that even my mailing list for newspapers, I receive information from the tribal enrollment and where the mailing list is at. So if you haven't received a paper, I encourage you to update your address in the tribal enrollment system. And if you're trying to get that information on how to do that, please go to the website, which is www.sno, Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, -NSN, like November, Sierra November.gov. And you can access the tribal enrollment forms and all the different information that they have, as well as a telephone number. So I encourage you to go to the tribal website, sno-nsn.gov, for that tribal enrollment information. There's also downloadable forms for change of address. Now, if you're not able to download some of these forms, I'll say with just a change of address, if you can copy that information down onto a sheet of paper, send it in. They do have to have a signature request for change of address. So anything else outside of that, please contact the office for more information. But change of address is important. We here at the office, we've got quite a few calls for change of address. You know, can we do it from here? Officially, no, we cannot do it from here. The only thing we can change is mailing address for newspapers. But again, you need to go through the tribal enrollment office to have that established. Well, students who turned 18 during the school year and did not receive the $500 will receive the $900, just the $500, or both. Students who receive a $500 tech card, if they were initially approved and received the initial payment, will receive $500. Again, that was just for the quick turnaround and the work to get the address changes and any information like that would have extended the period of disbursement, probably even until now with the overwhelming response we've got. So it was just decided to, if you were under the age of 18, receive the tech card first time at $500, that the second time you'd receive it the same. Is the assistance coming by check or gift card? Well, the assistance will be in the form of a Visa gift card on this second round, so, and mailed to recipients at the address on the initial application. Will there be a deadline for the use of these funds? There is no deadline on the use of funds on the cards. Now, it's been coming through the office. I actually received one just before coming on air. My daughter was asking for a father. Will these funds have to be spent by the December 31st? That's what I heard was the actual message. And no, the Seminole Nation they were the ones that had to be the ones to allocate these funds. So the funds on the cards themselves to you, the individual, no. If the elders miss the first round, how can they receive the second? And is the assistance coming by check or gift card? Okay, a lot of the responses we received, or a lot of the questions received, were specifically for elders, but I can specifically say that overall, collectively, as a tribal nation, for all ages, no new applications will be taken or were taken at this time. So collectively. If someone sent in an application for the first round and has not heard anything yet, what can they do? Assistance will be in the form of a Visa gift card and mailed to recipients at address on initial application. Again, that's one of the areas that we're finding out is that the address changes. They want to try to change the address at the last minute and get that information in, and the cards have already been mailed out. So to the first address, so it would probably behoove a lot to make sure that you change through the postal service first. If you do change an address, or highly encourage with any changes of movement that you change with the post office first officially, and then update your tribal enrollment address. And also to dedicated COVID hotline. You know, I can't stress this enough. We do have a person up there this morning. Again, a lot of the calls are nobody's answering a phone, or the mailbox is full. I can assure you the two lines that we got here, I've got record memory full. So, and I'm trying to go down through there and assist them as much as we can through this office to answer as many questions as we can. But when we get 2 calls that we complete, erase out of the memory, then 3 more calls come. So that's kind of where we're at right now. So. But just continue to try to call that dedicated line. Again, it'll be off tomorrow and start back up on Monday. But 405-257-7231. That's the dedicated COVID assistance hotline. 405-257-7231. If updated address is needed, what is the best way to do this? Again, we can't stress this enough, is to fill out a change of address with the tribal enrollment form that is located on the website, or call the hotline, and they'll take your information on what's needed. For children who received IT assistance is the same card going to be reloaded or different? If you haven't received your card yet, then it will be a different card. A new card will be mailed to that first address, so, and it's not reloadable. One of the main questions that we get too is, can I get money off this card, or am I able to cash out? No, at this time, these cards are not a debit type card in which you can take off money. It is a gift card. We have received a lot of calls from folks that have lost or got their cards locked up for one reason or another, trying to use it in a way that it wasn't intended. Again, Seminole Nation cannot do anything in that sense. Please, we're just the issuers. We're not the primary issuing bank. So on the back of the card is a number. If you have any situations that you have any questions with, please call that number on the card, as the issuing bank will let you know what can and can't be done in situations. And with lost and stolen and replaced cards, again, just leave that information on the tribal COVID assistance line. But the primary issuing bank will be the one to actually handle and deal with all these. Let me look real quick and see if we got any questions. If you got any questions, again, hit us up on the inbox. Facebook, shoot us a line. We'll see what we got here. All right. Who do we contact if we never receive the second COVID assistance? Okay. I did receive the first round payment. Okay. A dedicated COVID assistance line is set up. Again, we hashed, kind of rehashed that a little bit. Dedicated COVID assistance line is set up at 405-257-7231, 405-257-7231. Again, be patient as we will have someone contact and someone get back with you on that. Let me see if we got another line. Who decided to put the money on a gift card? Paper. Again, this is communications department bullocular information as far as like that. I believe that it costs more to put. It would have cost more to do the paper on that, do the paper and printing, as opposed to plastic. There was a savings of some monies on that due to the printing costs and the amount of postage as well. Postage is expensive, I can tell you that. It's really expensive having to do all the mail outs for the newspaper that we recently had. It's gone up quite a bit. I do know, as a matter of fact, some of the folks that haven't received the newspaper, when we get the newspaper, we take the legal envelope, newspaper, stuff it in there. It's $1.60 for postage, so it's gone up quite a bit, and I do know that was one of the reasons why it was done that way with cards. So thank you. Oh, cool. Thank you for the assistance. Our household appreciates it. I tell you what, those comments like that are overwhelming. Appreciate it because things like that is just really, everybody wants. It's better to hear good news, and when it's kind of shadowy, when it's kind of clouds are overcast. When you get good news and things like that, it's really appreciated, and it resonates throughout the community. So, and I'm gonna zoom out a little bit too, and say that within those comments like that, it resonates throughout our Seminole Nation. It resonates throughout what we feel and hear as a people. There are good people doing good things to try to make this work. And I appreciate that comment. Thank you very much. I'll definitely share it. Hopefully everybody sees it. Vera, thank you. Mado, for everything. Belinda, Lena, my 3 sons got their cards, so Mado. Appreciate the Toknawa. Okay. When will freedmen citizens be eligible for help? Again, these are some issues that we will address. Band representation, band representatives going forward into the new year. Let's see how it happens. Let's see what happens. Conversation, just like we're doing right here, is one way we're going to establish breaking new ground, breaking outside, or getting that outside the box thinking, try to find solutions rather than criticizing problems. Just my 2 cents, so we'll see what happens. Renee, Mado for everything. Mado back. Mahi done. It is a blessing. It's a blessing to be here. It's a blessing every day. Elisha Lewis, I applied for the first round technology assistance for my daughter with a mailing application, never heard back or received anything, and now I'm being told that she doesn't qualify for the second round because the first round never went through. The forensics of all of this, when I say forensics, is the applications, things like that. And I'm gonna say this in all fairness, we have, even within this office, received calls of folks that maybe didn't make the deadline and tried to, for whatever reason afterwards, push it past there. I'm not singling out anybody. I'm just giving you a situation that we have had faced. Someone missed a deadline. It's not Seminole Nation's push. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. That's the reason why we have deadlines. Those things like that, we have to forensically find out what is fact-based and what is something that's somebody maybe trying to push under the system. Ultimately, we all want everybody to be have this assistance, because COVID-19 did affect all of us in some form or fashion capacity, but however, we also had guidelines too on how this was established and how it could, be distributed in the way that it was. So again, there are a lot of things that are in play here. I would just say, Elisha, just contact the number there. We'll continue to look into things of that nature, and again, solutions. It goes both ways. We got to accept fact for what things are, but for lack of, it's not for lack of folks not wanting to help. It's just we're going to have to find out what's broke. How can we fix it? So thank you for that question. What can the technology cards be used for? I want to say it was the second paragraph, the last sentence of the card. It said you may be used for support of anything technology related to the child's use or need for support. Again, don't quote me on that. It's what I'm thinking of. I know it was like second paragraph, last sentence, something like that, because I remember seeing it for my girls. It's really on you when the liability becomes yours as the application was sent in. Once that signature was made, the liability falls upon the recipient. And again, that's one of the reasons why the Seminole Nation, we're just issuing the cards. We're not in charge of the actual money part of it, other than here it is, based off this. So use it for whatever supports your technology assistance for your child. Justification is now in your hands. Technology assistance, however you use it, justify it by that. My daughter-in-law never got hers for the first time. Will she? My daughter-in-law never got hers the first time. Will she get it? She applied when my son did. He got his, but she didn't. Never received a denial letter. Again, just contact that COVID assistance line. They are taking names, numbers, and forensically looking through things. Some of them have fallen through the cracks. I want to say there was over close to 9,000 applications, so there's a lot of paper that's there, a lot of tracking that's going on. And again, we have a small staff. Again, some of us have been affected by the coronavirus, and it takes a while to recover from it. So, and then precautions, things like that, it just kind of slows it down. So we just ask that everybody be patient. We understand, but just call that line, leave your information, and someone will definitely get back with you. Thank you. Would you repeat that number again? Let's see. Cindy, go to the website. La Donald, Dave. Come on now. I see you on Facebook all the time. Seminole Nation. It's 405-257-7231. 405-257-7231. The COVID assistance line. Let's see. We never got notified of the COVID relief funds until after the deadline was already passed. Is there anything we can do now to receive the assistance? No. Again, this, and I'm not being sarcastic, from June 4th is when the initial post went out through social media, radio, print, trying to think, YouTube channel that we've got. a blast email to all our tribal employees, council reps, everyone within the nation, that it was coming out. Now, I know if I know if my hair went bad, went bald, instantly within the next 3 or 4 hours, somebody in Alaska would know about it. So I'm not saying there wasn't for lack of trying, but it was out there. Can we do a better job? Of course we can do a better job, especially from this office. That's why one of the reasons why we're doing this. We want to fix this thing. We want to make sure that we're doing the best job possible to keep you, the Seminole Nation members and citizens, informed of what's going on and be transparent in all this, which, there is nothing. We keep seeing that there's a lot of things that are hidden, and it's really not. It's just trying to let it develop. Let's let things develop along the way so that it can be brought out, and questions like what we're doing right now can be answered. So, but from June 4th all the way through the deadline, which was August 31st on this COVID assistance, it was out there on the website as well. What it is showing me is that there are areas we need to beef up in the communication, to get more information quickly as we can on the website. I would like to have within this office, there's 3 of us in the communications office, myself, my assistant, and my media specialist. And a lot of times it's just maybe one person just doing a certain number of things and working, So we're getting there. We're getting there. We're going to get there. Actually, we're going to be moving and expanding within this next year, so be looking for that because things are getting better. And to answer your question, no, there's no application process at this time, as the deadline, August 31st, has passed for the initial payment. So, thanks. I know y'all doing what all y'all can, and through all this confusion with COVID. Bless you. Yes. I completely disagree with the fact that you're not accepting new applications for these next rounds. You would think you would want to help the tribal members as much as possible. And if someone missed the first round, why can't you accept the second round application? First round again, it's okay. The disagreement, we accepted. The second round applications budget was for based off the first round. I mean, that's in a nutshell. All the second round applications were based off the first round. Anything that's what I know. If you know any more, please let me know. Chabon, will there be a third one in 2021? Other tribes are doing in May, June, and July. I don't know. I was looking recently, watching the Senate vote on this, the $2,000 that's supposed to be coming to, to offset the $600 that's coming to us. It's federal funds. I don't know. Federal funds. I do know there was an extension based off the law that was passed, the bill that was passed into law this past weekend that the president signed, and it does have some integration of funds to tribes, like PPE stocks, just some different things. I initially looked at it. I haven't really studied it. I encourage you to look at it. Contact your tribal band chief. Band chief has all that information that was sent out to him. Yeah, there's some new funding to tribes, but it's not going to be individual payments like it has been now. So if that kind of answers your question. More needs to be looked at what's going on. So I heard from like 3 people we have to spend the money by the 31st, which is today. Is that true? No. The tribe, upon receiving the CARES funds, had an initial 31st deadline to which the monies had to be allocated. The recent passage of this bill into law this past weekend, had a extension for next year, 2021, this time next year. So now, since it's been signed in law, the extension's in place. So the monies for the CARES Act that we received, no. For you individually, no. Even with receiving your card, there's no deadline for that. It was the tribe, the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, had to have that allocated and budgeted out by the 31st. So that's what that means. So if there's a third round, is that going to be based on first round application, or will the other tribal members deal with new application? Bull White Killer's opinion, I would, since that application period for that CARES money is already passed, if it happens, I'm not going to say it would, but I would think there would be a new application process. I would think. Thank you. I wanted to ask, since you were on live, I don't always get my notifications on here from pages I follow and stuff, and I don't even get the newspaper anymore. Well, let me stop you there, Ms. Davis. Please update or contact our office if you haven't been receiving it. I've got a list of a mailing list. Again, I kind of bounce it off what tribal enrollment, and a lot of the addresses have been old, or they're going to. Or they're going to newspapers that family members that we have within our nation that have deceased or moved. So again, a lot of these newspapers, and I've finally got it down now and verified to where it's more streamlined, more efficient, and more accurate of what we have. But if you haven't been receiving anything, please send us the information through Facebook, your mailing address. I will actually put it up online. I need to start populating our communications page on the website, but it is an application that we have, and I will put it out there. It's just basically what band you're from, or what band you're affiliated with, your name, maiden name, address, last four of your social, and mine went blank. Last four of social and phone number. Yeah. So just if you want to update that, send it to us at seminolemedia@gmail.com. Seminole Media, one word, Seminole Media, one word, @gmail.com, and we'll definitely get you in on the mailing list. All right. Let me answer one more. Excuse me. I have a question. Do you still qualify for the CARES Act money if you didn't get the first round? Now, if you didn't apply for the first round, no. Recommendation. Social media is great for those who limit the use of them, or algorithms hide information under plenty of ads. It would streamline information for scribe, email, or mass text. We're always looking in new ways to get the information out. The days have passed of cups and strings, so we're looking. All right. Well, I've allotted my time. I'll appreciate it, and I'll try to get some of your questions here. Still got to try to get this next month's newspaper out. There's a couple things I really wanted to throw out there real quick. Again, appreciate all you guys. I will look into it. Got a tribal directory. I'm trying to streamline this. This is all the folks that we have. All tribal members will have it. We're really going to be working this year hard on getting a periodical booklet for tribal members and citizens, and kind of use as a marketing tool for the Seminole Nation, because ultimately people ask questions about what's going on or how do I get contact this, and we're working on that in conjunction with the language department, doing some language teachings and some training materials. So there's things that's going on. We've had a lot of thought into what we need to do and how we can make this period benefit our tribal citizens in our nation as well. So there's been a lot of things going on, and one of the things I wanted to share with you is just continuously try to stay involved in your band. you, the viewer, the tribal member, tribal citizen, you guys are the power. We just work for you. You guys are the ones that are going to make this happen. I can sit here and look at the social media feeds and see all the mudslinging and all the negative comments and things about getting down on the tribe and folks within the tribe. Folks, it's all of us together doing this. It's all of us together communicating and talking like we're doing right now, and sitting down and understanding and listening to one another on how we can move forward on this. With the recent McGirt decision for the Muskogee Creek Nation, it's opened some doors and some avenues to be aware of the empowerment that we have as SD Seminole. So that is what we're going to be looking forward to doing, not only from this office, but from partnerships with all our communities in language, social services, food distribution, is just empowering our people for that next step. And part of that next step is just education, knowing what it means to be sovereign. What does it mean to be sovereign? If I was to sit here and talk to you like I am now, face to face, and I ask you, what does it mean to be sovereign? What does sovereignty mean to you? I really would like to hear your answer and to feel that answer as well, because that's what's going to be important for us going forward in the communication process of being able to listen, to understand one another. So with that kind of showing, and get back to what we were talking about on being able to be transparent and be aware of what's going on. This is broadcast to millions of people at times. Right now, we've got 55 people watching with 418 that have tuned in. And so we know the impact. We know that it's going to impact a lot of folks, and what's portrayed out there on social media, what's portrayed out there, that drives our narrative. And part of that narrative, even as we move forward, part of that narrative, it will be seen by a lot of people outside our area. And is that the kind of narrative we got to ask ourselves? Is that the kind of narrative that we really want? And so, it just goes back to, what does sovereignty mean to you? What kind of narrative are you assisting in this drive toward that sovereignty? So, we move forward. It's going to be fun. And just kind of get back to the basics on all this. Just educate, know where we came from, know where, what it means to be SD Seminole. I try to learn something a little bit every day. Try to pull this up and see what this means. And when you get time, just kind of on a personal note, I like to read. And I got some 3 books here. I'm just going to show you. It's like Bo's Book Club now, but I just want to get this out there if you get a chance. Of course, one of them was the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, Legal History, and I'm starting this week. And I've seen it and leafed through it. Some of you probably already read it. But these are some of the empowerment tools. These are the spears and the bows and arrows that we'll have to have going forward, along with our language. And then I'll tell you, I really had a really good opportunity, especially with this position. You get a chance to talk to some of your heroes. You get a chance to be with a lot of people. A lot of my heroes I talk with on a daily basis, and I don't take that for granted. I talk to you guys out here on a daily basis with that too, so I don't take that for granted. But this man, Walter Echohawk, is really he's a good spirit, and this is a book that I really encourage you to look at. It's In the Light of Justice: A Rise of Human Rights in Native America. He's a lawyer that's fighting the fight, and in some form or fashion in the future may partnership with him in a lot of ways as they take on the federal government and EPA issues. So who knows? And then too, don't get stuck on stupid. General Russell Honore, I can't recommend this enough. And it's really, I actually got to hang out with the guy while I was stationed in Korea. They call him the Raging Cajun. He's from Louisiana, but he's the one that took over and did the coordination during Hurricane Katrina. But he's a very humble man, but he's very well spoken and outspoken too in a lot of things. And there was a passage in there I was wanting read, and we'll finish off with that as we move out. But keep this in mind, because I think of this I think about this a lot when talking about our tribe and our nation as a whole, and where we're at, what we're becoming, and from my lens as communications director, rather than having a zoomed in lens, I want to zoom out. I want to zoom out to what the nation, what we are going to be, not what we can be, but what we are going to be. And it begins like this. But in this book, Don't Get Stuck on Stupid by Russell Honore, he says, and this is him talking, he says, when I grew up in Lakeland, Louisiana, we were surrounded by farmers. My dad, Lloyd Honore, was a subsistence farmer with a few head of cattle and had some pigs. But we also had some cash crops. We lived off what we grew, raised on the farm, and we used cash crops to buy supplies and equipment. One of my early life lessons came from neighboring farmer George Giroux. One morning it was raining, and the nearby farmers were gathered in an old converted garage my cousin used as a welding shop. My uncle Horace Foussier was standing there rolling a cigarette when George walked in. "How you doing, George?" Uncle Horace asked. George looked at him and he slowly pulled out his tobacco pouch. "Let me tell you something, Horace," he said. "I'm doing damn good." Well, Uncle Horace and everyone else in that old garage knew that George certainly was not doing good. "How can you be doing good?" Uncle Horace said. "You haven't been in the field in 3 days and it's raining. Corn's gone under and the cane's rotten. How can you say you're doing good?" "See all these men sitting here?" Horace said. "See all these men sitting here, Horace?" said George. "If I was to walk up to you and start complaining about my corn going under, my cane rotten in the field, my pigs got the flu, guess what happens tomorrow when I go to the banker to ask for the money? It don't matter how you're actually doing. It's best that people leave with the impression that you're doing okay." That message stayed with me and is one of the most important life lessons. It taught me that you have to create your own narrative. There were times in my 37-year military career when I was up to my neck with one problem or another. But as long as my head was above water, I was okay. People can obviously see the predicament you're in, but they want people around them who not only recognize the problem, but who have the ability to solve it. It's too easy to sound negative by saying, "Oh, I'm catching hell. How am I going to make it?" Word like that spreads. Bad news travels fast. Today, when somebody asks me how I'm doing, I reply, "I'm doing great. I'm still getting up in the morning. I'm driving my car. I'm going to the gym. I'm riding my horse. Hell, if I want, I do what I want. I live in a pretty good house." I don't mention the negative stuff, but I don't lie either. We're all in one predicament or another, but those who project confidence are the ones who will be trusted to find solutions. If you find a new way to describe how badly you're doing, that's just stupid, because it's what people will remember, and they will always look at you as a failure. My advice, don't give them that opportunity. So with that, appreciate you guys listening. Appreciate you guys sitting in. Hopefully maybe we'll do this, see what kind of response we get more often. It is a new year. Be safe tonight. If you're out there, please don't drink and drive. If you plan on being in crowds, wear a mask. Try to avoid those things. We are having, everybody wants to get rid of 2020. Let's put it in the past, put it in the rearview mirror. Some are still grieving, some are still clinging to life, and we must remember them. We must be humble in a sense of knowing that this is something that's out of our control, and get back to those things that really mean and matter the most to us. And part of that is it's a great day to be Seminole. And with that, we appreciate it. I'm gonna get up, and you're gonna see me back of my head, and appreciate you guys listening in, and we'll see you in the next year. Hadam Chi Charlies.